I have a question about the different terminology we have for pañña. For example, pariyatti, patipati, pativeda, and then you've got Sutamayapañña, Dhammayapañña. So is pariyatti the same as Sutamayapañña?
That's why we have to carefully study each word. For example, what is sutta? Hearing, right? Maya, the benefit of hearing is understanding. Otherwise, it's useless just to hear without considering whether it's true and what it's about. For example, now, we are talking about seal right now. And sutta, heard the word, maya, understand. The success, the result, the benefit of hearing is to understand. When it is heard, no understanding, it cannot be Sutamayapañña. But the maya is the way it works to have understanding of the word it is about whatever is now appearing. See, Sutamayapañña doesn't mean that let's hear again and again, but no considering, no understanding. That's useless. But sutta, hearing, and it brings about the understanding so clear about that word, little by little. So it's right understanding which arises from hearing. When there is hearing, but there's no right understanding, it cannot be Sutamayapañña. It can be only sutta. It cannot be maya. So the benefit, the success of listening is understand that which now heard as it is. For example, seeing, only one word, seeing, see, and sutta, heard that about what is there. Before that, seeing cannot be known, no hearing about the truth of it. But when there is the word talk saying about it, how many moments, we don't know, many times, it can bring about the understanding of only seeing as it is, as no one there at all. And it's not yet the right understanding of seeing, but it is the moment of hearing again and again until the confidence of the truth of the word which talk about seeing can be successful. Pañña is there. Knowing this so true that no one can change it. But who can understand it depends on many, many conditions. Without attention, not seeing the benefit, one might not be interested in hearing it at all. But someone heard the word and there are conditions to be interested, to understand that chanda, a reality is there. See, so each word would have thought about what are there now. Not only one, but many, many things. But in order to understand the reality that which is now appearing clear, it has to be just one word at a time. And when that is succeeded, it's successful. It is the skillful in listening and understanding the truth. Not just the word, not just how many words about that, but the truth of that now as it is the Satyana, to understand the truth, the Four Noble Truths. Satyana, from hearing, considering directly, because the reality is so very subtle. If there is no hearing enough, we take it just very easy to concentrate on it, to understand it, to develop by one's own. That's not the way at all. Because the truth is very, very difficult or so hard to understand, because it's covered up by ignorance from years and years and years ago. Even right now, the words of the truth from the Buddha begins to just turn it up to see what is there, which is covered up from years and years ago, just to talk about that which is now there, where no one talk about it at all, not understanding the truth of it. So how can there be any word about it when there's no understanding? But when Buddha had enlightened, he taught and showed the truth. So anyone who heard about this can begin to understand the truth little by little. And it's not known as it is just one at a time. Yet, that's why it is the intellectual understanding about seeing right now. Sutamayapañña. But if one listen, not enough careful considering, how can that be pañña more about each word as it is, as no self at all, implanted little by little there. The seed is there to grow up when there's more conditions. Fertilizer, hearing again, not hearing, thinking over it as well. So when pañña, right understanding is there, it can understand what other things is, little by little. The same. Seeing today, seeing yesterday, seeing tomorrow, seeing next life. Exactly. That quality which arises, the nature that it just arises to see. So how can it be anyone? This is a way to develop the path leading to enlighten the truth of this moment as it is. That's why it's so very, very subtle, very, very profound. No one can think about it. All dhammas are there unknown, are working. The functions, different ones. Citta is not Jessica and so on. So much now. To learn to understand it as no one at all. Otherwise the idea of I is there. But seeing now, just talk about seeing. It's gone. Unknown. And what continue? Unknown. Succeeding so very, very rapidly. No gap in between. That's why they all appear as different sign or nimitta, shape and form. Just like now. Covered until Sutamayapañña is more and more confident, to be confident of the truth.
Ajahn, that's wonderful. Thank you. So my next question would be, what is Sutamayapañña?
Okay. When it's not moment of hearing, there can be moment of thinking. And usually there is thinking about other things, not of that which is now appearing at all in the day. See? The moment of hearing has gone. And then the condition, thinking about other things instantly, even while one is hearing either. See? And so even when there's enough understanding, intellect understanding about seeing right now, seeing right now, it conditions the moment of understanding or considering seeing. But when we don't use the word seeing, what about thinking? Think about other things instantly. So when the understanding of the truth at level of intellectual understanding is enough, it can condition moment of thinking about that which has heard by conditions. No one can try and then think about it, but it's there by conditions to think about other things. So many moments in a day, no moment of thinking about that which is heard as it is not heard right now. That's why when there are conditions enough, there can be less thinking about other things, but thinking of that which is heard. And it can condition moment of picking up the book on Dhamma Dhamma and read it carefully and understanding it, and then conditions for other thought again, all the time by conditions. That's why it takes quite a long time to understand. It's not in anyone's control at all. By conditions only, to have more understanding about anatta, uncontrollable. Even the idea of uncontrollable can bring about a little more understanding of no me. That's why each moment is conditioned by so many conditions, and the condition of hearing of truth is one, which is conditioned now to see the value of listening, of understanding the truth. Otherwise, it's just like the blind person or living in a dream world all the time, because we think that this is so true, I'm here, but actually, without the realities, without seeing, hearing, thinking, hardness, and softness, how can there be the I? Thinking of that ignorance, that it's I who see when there is seeing, because of not understanding seeing as it is, not understanding anything at all. That's why how long it will take from intellectual understanding to higher understanding, little by little again at its different levels.
Again, that's wonderful, Ajahn. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Share everyone's understanding so much in this life.
Now, I know there's another Sutamayapañña. What is that?
What is bhavana?
Well, it would be the development of pañña, to know more and more what is real and what is not real.
Right understanding. It's a reality, different from wrong understanding. So we learn about anything there, but usually we use the word with ignorance, not understanding it as it is. But when there is that, nothing is there, only conditioned reality arising and falling away, never to return at all. And this is the bhavana beginning to develop right understanding. So actually, bhavana is the development of understanding from intellectual understanding to the direct understanding and to realizing the truth, Pativeda. Otherwise, without the intellectual understanding, how can there be direct understanding of that now which is appearing? For example, hardness, no understanding at all, it's gone. Just hard and then gone, no understanding. But when there's enough understanding to condition moment of understanding, that when it's there, that when it's there, hardness is there, and there is understanding there. See, this is the development, stage by stage, from Sutamayapañña, Cintamayapañña, which condition Pañña, direct awareness. But it begins from intellectual understanding. And understand that that is not the precise understanding of understanding just only that which appears, for example, seeing. Not understanding seeing now yet as the moment when it shows up as it is, realizing the truth, penetrate the truth of it. So bhavana is the development of right understanding of the truth of reality right now. Without hearing Sutamayapañña, intellectual understanding, there's no conditions for such moment in samsara, not just only in this life. Any life without pañña. To understand the different world, because this is the world of nimitta, and that is the world of realities. The other, see, ignorance condition the world of nimitta, and pañña condition the world of truth. Of that which just one reality different from the other, each one arises by conditions and then gone, never to return. No matter we call it birth or death, exactly the same.
Again, that's wonderful, Ajahn. Thank you very much. Very, very helpful.
And that's the way to understand life in very normal way. See, as it is, no one can make anything arise at all. No matter pañña or ignorance, attachment, aversion, whatever. And this is the benefit of hearing the truth. And pañña begins to develop right understanding. And little by little, attachment can be known. To go the wrong path without attachment and ignorance, it's impossible to go wrong. But when there is still ignorance and attachment, no one can stop the wrong path. That's why even to have right understanding of each moment is so valuable, because without it, there's no way, no condition to understand what is now appearing, as it's not there anymore, from moment to moment, by conditions. As long as there are conditions, seeing things, when there's no condition, seeing cannot arise, no seeing, no me who sees, no matter when. And this is the studying of Dhamma, see. It's not the word, but without the word of the enlightened one, no one can have such understanding of that which is now appearing. No wise word, true word, which explains it as it is.
You spoke a moment ago, Ajahn, about thinking. We listen to the Dhamma, and there is thinking about what is heard. I want to hold that thought and keep thinking about the Dhamma, and then I think that's trying to control. So I often will just let that thought go, but then there's not me to let it go. It's gone already.
Because pañña can begin to understand that the idea of self is any time, until there can be the understanding of that which is now appearing, even from just thinking about that which is heard. But the eyes to the five khandhas, the feeling, vedana and sanya and sankhara khandha, and even citta at that moment, all there are I, from life to life. That's why pañña begins to see moment of attachment and moment of understanding, little by little, as not self, and understanding that it's wrong to try to control, because one might think that, oh, I control it, but no understanding of truth. So lopa is that I can.
Yes, that is true. Lopa arises a lot in the day.
Yes, and that which has to be eradicated before us then is lopa with wrong understanding of self.